if many people realize that overconsumption and overspending is really a spiritual problem and not a math problem. It's more about your values and less about the math of it, right? And I think when people think about like controlling their spending, they think about it in these very mathematical, objective terms, like make a budget, cut back. However, if overconsumption was actually a budgeting problem, those solutions would work for everybody, but they don't, or they might work for a little bit, but they don't work for that long. That's because the real issue is that not that you don't know how to budget, it's because you have a values misalignment. You are trying to fill a spiritual void with material objects. And so many people's spending is completely disconnected from their values. I always say that money is a tool to live the life you want to live. And I think so many people don't fully think through what life they want to live. And so therefore, they're just spending money. And they're often spending money to signal something to other people, or they're doing it for external reasons, and they're not actually doing it for things that make sense or mean something to them. And when you do not have a clear internal compass of what actually matters to you, you will outsource that meeting to products, brands, other people's approval. And that's why it's called retail therapy. And it never actually works, right? It's just like a way of self-soothing. And like, I think we use spending as a way to deal with really uncomfortable emotions that we often have. It's like a very self-soothing mechanism. And that explains why it doesn't actually lead often to long-term happiness, because we get that little dopamine hit when we buy the thing. And then like 2 seconds later, we're like, okay, what's next? And a lot of our shopping also is buying an identity. It's buying how we want other people to perceive us. And companies know this. And that's why a lot of marketing is not like selling the product, it's selling that identity. It's selling something aspirational. Like if you just buy this thing, you're going to be this person. And a lot of people buy into that. And when you lack a strong internal sense of who you are and what you value, you will be very vulnerable to this type of messaging. And this is a spiritual crisis at the core of overconsumption. We live in a culture that has replaced meaning with buying things. We've replaced community with consumption. So much of our communities is based around brands and like the types of products we're buying. So when you feel empty or anxious or disconnected, your brain will reach for the solution that the culture has trained you, which is to just buy something. And the real work isn't just like creating a budget and cutting back on things, because a lot of times it's not sustainable for people. It's like going on a diet. It's instead asking yourself, what do I value? What do I care about? How do I want to live my life? Like, what am I actually trying to feel? What void am I trying to fill? And you can't budget your way out of like a spiritual crisis. If you don't know what you value, everything becomes a priority. And when everything's a priority, nothing is. And that's why it's really important to understand your values when you're thinking about overconsumption.